Alrighty, first of all, the Mortgage Debt Relief Act, great news. Okay, the Mortgage Debt Relief Act was extended. However, it was extended January 1st, 2013. Let me explain to you what the Mortgage Debt Relief Act is so that you know the severity and the importance of this particular act. The Mortgage Debt Relief Act was signed, some people will call it the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act. It was signed in 2007 by George Bush. And what that act basically states is this. If you have a property that you're losing in a foreclosure, or let's say you're having to do a short sale on the property, let's say you borrow $500,000 on that property, right? And then you sold it for $250,000. Well, there's $250,000 there that the lender has to forgive. The IRS, in their eyes, they would say, well, if you borrow $500,000 and you only pay back $250,000, then you had a capital gain of $250,000, which was leaving a lot of distressed homeowners having to pay taxes on a property that they already lost, and they actually didn't make any money of it. So it was basically adding, insult to injury. Again, President Bush signed the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act, Relief Act, however you want to call it, in 2007, and it expired December 31st, 2012. Okay, and obviously, as you've heard, if you haven't heard about the fiscal cliff, this was part of that. But legislation, senators, Congress, none of them can get together until the last day of the year to fix this. So it left a lot of people in a lot of panic, and a lot of people are wondering, well, what do I do? Do I need to close my short sale before the end of the year? Because if I close it after the end of the year, I'm going to be stuck with a huge IRS bill. Thank God they did extend the Mortgage Debt Relief Act. But it's important for you to know a couple things. The federal level of the Mortgage Debt Relief Act, the federal version of the Mortgage Debt Relief Act was extended, but California has its own version. I don't know if you know that or not, but California did not extend their version of the Mortgage Debt Relief Act. So in California, those of us who live in California, we pay federal taxes and we pay state taxes. California was saying that, hey, guess what? Okay, it's nice that you remove the mortgage debt. It's nice that you extend the Mortgage Debt Relief Act, but here in California, you're still going to have to pay state taxes on that gain, right? It's pretty scary. It is. We're talking about several thousands of dollars, but here's the good news. They're actually working on a bill right now to extend that and make it retroactive from the 1st of January up until the date it gets signed and extended. It's called SB 30. So look for it, Google it, and read about it in California. It should be coming up pretty shortly as far as being signed. So I think everyone's going to be in a good position after that one is signed, right? It's pretty scary stuff because you could really end up being stuck with thousands and thousands of dollars in tax bills. Lots of doors are open for a lot of people. I guess what it all boils down to it, folks. A lot of people here in California. And I know we've talked about this before in that, maybe not here, but if you read some of our articles, we talked about how the prices of homes are starting to go up. And I think that's a great thing. It's a fantastic thing, but there's still a lot of people who are maybe owing, double on their home than what it's worth. It's still going to take them 10, 15, 20 years to recoup that value. Even though property values go up 2 to 3%, which is what I think is going to happen, it'll take several years for them to recoup the value of that property that they lost. So there's a few laws that are still in place. First of all, we talked about the Mortgage Debt Relief Act. Let's talk about SB 931. Senate Bill 931 was put into effect January 1st, 2011 in California, which basically said if you do a short sale on a property, and the lender agrees to the short sale, the lender cannot come after you for the difference of that loan amount on that first loan, okay? But a lot of people had second and third loans, and they were saying, well, great, the first lender won't come after you, but the second and third lender will. Well, guess what? SB 458 was signed and put into effect in the middle of 2011 that basically stated that you had the right to do a short sale, and if the lender agreed to the short sale, then they were able to wipe away that debt completely, and the second or third lender couldn't come after you. This also applies to rental properties. There are a couple exceptions, so you want to talk to a CPA and or attorney or an accountant to make sure that these laws apply to you. But I guess the best thing of all is that there is some relief, folks. There's some relief for all of you out there. There's a lot of laws that are helping you get out of that upside-down home, if that's in fact what you want to do. Later on in the program, as I said, we're going to talk about how to keep your home if that's what you want to do. We're going to talk about how to do a loan modification yourself, right? So a lot of good stuff. If you want, get it, and if you get a chance, go to my website at robertaldana.com. There's a lot of great videos on there. And you can also go to youtube.com/Robert Aldana and watch some of the videos that I've put on there that kind of explain SB 931, SB 458, and also talks about short sales and much, much more. There's also a 4-part series on YouTube, on the YouTube channel or on my website, that goes over how you could do your own loan modification. So a lot of good stuff on there, a lot of great information to start the year off with, right? Excellent. All right, let's take a short break. We're going to come back and with some more information. We're going to try and get into also the top 10 tips on how to do your own loan modification. So we'll be right back after this. Don't change that channel.